Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. And we're back with you again in full swing. We were absent for a couple of days, and in RealFM is deeply involved in community building. And when sports or some other issues taking place, the program will be sidelining. And sports is a very important aspect of our development. I've often said, don't expect help from away, whether it's China, Russia, India, who. We in Grenada have to make it happen. I would love to see the day when Real FM could cover Sunday cricket. It's not difficult. Maybe one or two people just have to be interested in it. And you might shock to know, because the radio station is about development, it would not cost much. Because all the players are prepared to make sacrifice to make it happen. Remember, Real FM is the most successful radio station outside St. George's. And it's not easy, because sometimes we tend to be reluctant to support our own because we believe our own is not good enough. In a lot of respect, people in the community may be providing advice for you. You ignore them. You want an individual that is well-dressed, that's speaking English more than the British. We have gone to the Chelsea Flowers Show in London, and we win every time. And yet, we are not able to convince Grenadians and the authorities that be to invest in flowers. We have the people involved in arcades. They're doing an exceptionally good job. And yet, Grenada women, more Grenada women, I must say more Grenada women. You sit on home. You have the land space. You're not like the people in New York who living in cubicle. You have lands, because Grenada have the most land owners in the region and perhaps the world. You can use that time and plant flowers. And make sure your man go like to see that. Because flowers tend to make the male a little bit more romantic. And it make the women a better woman. And you have the back end, because we have the arcades people doing so well. And the people involved in the flowers show, the Chelsea Flowers Show, winning repeatedly. We have gone to the international community and we take gold medal in honey. The price of honey in Grenada is sky high. I want it to go up more. But we cannot attract our people to invest in beekeeping and honey. What's wrong with us? We used to export sheep and goat to the Trinidad market, almost 300, 400, 500 a week. Some farmers in Trinidad decided to object to that, and I was able to convince the government to stop accept sheep and goat, live animals from Grenada. A pound of mutton is about $20 now. We have the most land owners in Grenada. Oh, you don't even know sheep and goat. Everybody like pork. Even women now like pork. But do you believe that we are investing in the swine industry enough? No, we're not doing that. People say sea moss is an aphrodisiac. They say all man like sea moss. But are we investing in sea moss enough? No. Remember, the NNP under Dr. Kit Mitchell liberalized the telecommunication network. They free up free speech. They free up free speech. There was the days under the left-wing government when you could go to jail for what you say. If you don't believe me, ask Tillman Thomas. They sent him in jail. He was the human rights lawyer. And Bishop didn't hesitate to jail the human rights lawyer. And we had a big, strong lawyer in Grenville. Bishop making peace. That is to tell you how easy you could have gone under heavy manners in the revolution. Dr. Keith Mitchell, under the NNP, liberalized the telecommunication network. Over 30 people in Grenada had license to run radio station. You know, easy. Some of them start the bus. Except RealFM in the north. Like a giant. Now we have social media. And people could go on the radio and express themselves. If I was living in Iran, I would have been in jail. If I was living in the Soviet Union or these countries where you don't have freedom of the press, my voice would have silent. But because I'm in Grenada today, I could come and speak on the radio like that. We must not take that for granted. There are many in Grenada who don't support free speech. The present government of the day, they claim that information is based upon need to know. And they recognize mouthpiece, the prince of hate, the most fractious motivational speaker, and the Iceman. They advocating to close down RealFM, jail the personalities, hang people in the street. And I don't hear the voices of enough people crying out against that. One of these media houses said that they have information 2 weeks before it happened. So maybe there was discussion in the NDC hierarchy about how they're going to stunt the voice of us. I don't hear enough solidarity being expressed with Simon Says. For several weeks now, she has been complaining of Jones used to intimidate, malign, maul, and frighten her. Our voices in Grenada must raise. Now, when politicians have power, you have to have check and balances. And one of the check and balances in our democratic system is the voice of the people. The communist countries don't have that. Cuba don't have that. 60 years after the Cuban Revolution, Cuba still locking up people in jail. There are people languishing and dying in prison because they said something negative about the government. If we were living in Cuba, all of us would have been in jail. Where are the voices in the Caribbean crying out and say, time for Cuba to free up the press and free political prisoners? I believe our voice in Grenada should be the loudest. Because we had an experience between March 13, 1979 and the 25th of October, 1983. During that period of time, over 3,000 people were imprisoned. Maurice Bishop signed the order. Now, I don't speak about the other people that was in prison, about 2,000 of them. Bishop didn't sign the order. Some of them was picked up and jailed for 24 hours, 48 hours, 3 months, 6 months. Bishop didn't sign an order for that. So I normally speak about the 3,000 people, more than 3,000, that Maurice Bishop signed the order in jail. Now Grenada have this experience. Dominica, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Barbados, Jamaica, they don't have the political experience that we have. So we must speak up. Over 3,000 to 4,000 people flee the country. They went to Trinidad, America, Canada, etc., etc. Every week, people was going on the boat in Trinidad. Trinidad was very tolerant. They knew Grenadians was running, and they were very tolerant to us. They always do. But we must speak about it. I'm going to give you 2 incidents today, without much detail. A young man in school came home. He was a pioneer. He got his gun on a Monday. He reached home. He and his stepfather were not on good terms. The mother was not there. He pulled out the gun and he ordered his stepfather to leave the house. The stepfather didn't hesitate. He left the house, went by his brother, tell his brother what happened. The Tuesday, he was on the boat going to Trinidad. He spent 6 years in Trinidad before he come back. Even after the revolution collapsed, he said he want to make sure the revolution collapsed. We had another incident where a young boy, a couple of boys was in a shop holding a discussion. He was about 18 years old. One of his classmates came to speak to them about joining the NWO, National Youth Organization. And he said, we're not joining no organization because all you jailing too much people in Tivoli and Conference. The young girl said, you will hear from me. And she left. Conversation continued. He went home this Sunday evening. Monday morning, they wake him up. They say, you have to go to Trinidad. He said, for what? I'm not going to Trinidad. The mother said, you heard what the girl tell you? You will hear from her? You know what that means? He didn't report it to his mother, Somebody else did. And a car was waiting for him in his mother's yard. Put him in a dicky, and he went to Trinidad 6 years. Yes, caller, welcome.
I'm not calling for the program. I'm just calling for the office.
What you calling for?
The office. If I can put me onto the office.
Well, you got to call back again. Okay. Call 0975 442 0975. I say these things because it seems we forget our history. Grenada is supposed to be the most macho public politically. We in Grenada supposed to be the most macho politically. We're supposed to see the writing on the wall because we have had experience. When the government introduced, establish information is based upon a need to know basis, that is a warning sign. When the government is reluctant to provide information to people, that is a warning sign. When the government known mouthpiece, some of them, they honor them, They are suggesting to close down radio station, they're testing the ground to see the response of our people. What's wrong with us? Many have said in a democratic system where you have the power to vote, you dissolve the government you have. And in Grenada, election has been free and fair, and free from fear post 1983. So one might well argue that we dissolve the government we have. The writing is on the wall. Some of the things that is going on in Grenada is a sign that we are not going down the right trajectory. And it seems that a deliberate attempt is made to silence us. So I express my solidarity with Simon Says, because what is going on is a deliberate attempt to intimidate her, to frighten her, to maul her into silence. And I'm disappointed that enough voices has not been raised. Even the Prince of Hate, the Iceman, and the most, they too should come out and say, no, we have had the freedom to express ourselves for over the last 12 years. Nobody take that freedom away from us. So you should not try to take the freedom away from Simon Says. If that continue, even the NDC mouthpiece now could be affected in the future. This country belongs to us. We have to stop waiting on help. We don't have to wait on help from the industrialized or the developed world. We have the talents here to address our issues. I don't even believe that we need all this financial assistance from away. Sometimes people get financial assistance and they're buying things and they're doing things that is not necessary. They don't need it. But they say, I get the money, what am I going to do? I see a number of issues going around in the country that is fundamentally flawed. Take this one. The Prime Minister of Grenada have had a gentleman from Africa in Grenada. And the gentleman is presented as the richest man in Africa. What does that mean? The gentleman, Dangote, is not presented as a successful businessman that could help Grenadians or invest in Grenada. He is presented as the richest man in Africa. That is embarrassing. That is insulting. I don't know how many of you have ever had the opportunity to be on 42nd Street, Young Street, Tiger Bay, Nelson Street. Every big country have these famous streets where people go to meet the callers and other who are active, particularly in the night. Now, what is the significance? What is the objective? What is the value that the Prime Minister been flaunting around with an individual and he say he is the richest man in Africa? Is the Prime Minister of Grenada being bribed? This gentleman has not been presented as a businessman looking for opportunities. He has not been presented as a businessman that wants to invest in Grenada. He has not been presented as a successful businessman that want to help Grenadians. He has been presented as a rich man. Now, knowing that this prime minister we have, it is rumored extensively and widely that he likes expensive gifts, expensive garments. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon,
Yes,
sir.
welcome, Doctor.
Mr. Pierre, when I watch what's going on in society, I just can't understand if some of us cannot see what's going on in Grenada. Independent, 40, no, right, not 40, 51 years now. Our prime minister keep up independent. Nobody never do that because, Mr. Pierre, if you do them things and them, the country killing. We don't make it vary. You will do all what you're doing. They make all vary in the country hungry. What it is, or you want name, or you want famous, or you want attention. What it is all about, Mr. Pierre. You do all this wickedness and then Friday gone, and you pick up and you run again. And everybody, nobody don't sitting there and say nothing was going on in this Grenada here, Everything this man do is right what he doing. Huh? I cannot understand.
Well, it's not fair to say nobody don't sin because we have been pointing it out all the time.
Yeah, but Mr.
It's not fair. It's not fair to say we're not nobody.
You might say it.
Don't expect.
No, but it's when you call the program and you talk about what is going on. People, a lot of us hungry, Mr. Pierre. You have a lot of people is hungry in this Grenada here. What it is, put jobs for people to work. Give the people work to do because idle hands get the evil works to do. Mr. Pierre, a lot of people want day work. You hear people telling you, government say, budget don't read yet, you can't get paid. Mr. Pierre, what is going on? And everybody, some of us sitting, just digesting. And good morning, my loving private. What do you hear these people and them, When do you hear these people and them saying this thing and them? They're shocking monkeys and them, I just don't understand, Mr. Pierre. I cannot take it. That's why I'm hurt in my head. You're hurt in my head. I was telling myself, if I have little children, I don't know how. People that have little children, you have to send your children to school, no work, no nothing. People waiting on pay, saying the budget don't read, you can't get paid. Mr. Pierre, what going on in this little Grenada? Yeah. Mr. Pierre, enjoy the rest of
Yes, remember, Grenada has been known as the land of conflicts. And most political parties, yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Glad to hear you. I look at Facebook and I've seen an article where this African man, Dangote, may possibility want to buy Grenek. Could be the possibility of the Grenada government will sell Grenek to this man. It is a possibility. That is what I'm hearing. I mean, I'm seeing on Facebook from a reliable source, right? So once it's on Facebook, it's already not necessarily true, but that is what I am seeing, right? We know the struggles we pass through with Grenec, the Grenada Electricity Company. And we know how NDC in 94 sold this company to WRB. And all the profit used to go out. US upon US of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars going to Florida. When that money could have stayed in Grenada and develop here. First and foremost, we sold that company with a pocket change of $19 million and give them back $4 million for them to buy back a generator. And who led that? Mr. Tillman Thomas with his own delegate. Now Grenada was forced to buy back to the company for 63 million US dollars. And who was the lawyer that was defending WRB is our honorable Prime Minister today. Now we are hearing that he wants to sell the same grain like the 50% share that government bought back when Grenada was getting the same profit and getting the same profit here to develop our country, to help the poor and the needy, to uplift the standard of Grenadian living. We're going to take that same profit now and give it to a Nigerian man what have real money, the richest man in Nigeria. If that is true, Grenadians should never stand for that, regardless of if you vote for them, you vote against them. Grenadian pride is Grenadian pride, and we should stand for what is with, and we should not let this thing go on just like that. If that is true, I am so disgusted with the government of Grenada because we have left $500 million, over $500 million to this administration now. And for them to come and say they don't have money to fund the budget, so they want to sell Grenlec to fund that budget. If that is true, I am so disappointed in Grenadians to stand up there and to allow that to happen. And we should protesting heavily against that, because I could have remembered in Kenya, they voted, thousands of Kenyans voted for a government. And when the government was doing wrong, posing taxes upon the people, the same young people who voted for them, they took to the streets and they said they cannot take that. That is not what we stand for. I'm not supporting the violence, but I am supporting the protest. Let us stand for it. Let us stand against it. We cannot go down that road if that is true.
Yeah.
So the government need to come out straight up and clear the air and say this thing is not true. But we know this administration, they will come out and tell us that is not true, and at the end they're doing contrary, right? So we are saying if it is true, we are not standing for it, and if it is not true, come out and tell us straight up.
Yes, scholar, thank you very much. And we always say that we need to educate ourselves. The NDC don't surprise me. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Senior, this is the voice of one crying out in the wilderness for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique. How do you do?
Great, man.
Senior, Grenada is in trouble. And as you always say, we buy a cat in a bag. And Senior, I told somebody today, like Mr. Pierre is a prophet. From day one, that man always said and continue to say that Deacon Mitchell is a fake. And there is a third party that is running the affairs of his country. You know what is hurtful and very painful? The present situation in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique is chaotic. It is chaotic. And while we have a rookie prime minister in office that does not care about the welfare of the people of Carriacou and Petit-Martinique, yet what we do realize that we have a prime minister that is aligning with the rich and the famous. You know what he's doing? He's breaking the social barrier. While yes, you're aligning with Dangote, and you feel nice, you even want to wear clothes like Dangote. Are you changing your culture? Are you really from Grenada, Deacon Mitchell? And while you line in and feeling nice and smiling broad and having fireside chat with Nigeria. Their information to suggest, senior, that Dangote is $41 billion rich. And that is the guy you, Deacon Mitchell, the Prime Minister of Grenada, is bunching shoulder with. My God, let's do the math here, senior. If you, Deacon Mitchell, is so proud of Grenada, Carriacou and Pitimatic, let us face some reality here just for a short while. If you are so proud of the people and you claim that you love them in your campaign, you love them so much, and you have the opportunity to lime and show off with a multi-billionaire who have money more than Congo food. You bring him in Grenada and you're laughing, you're smiling, you're not going out by your ears because you're liming with Dangote. But while you liming with Dangote, why you don't get some money from Dangote to put some medication in the hospital? Are you an idiot, sir? When you line with the rich, you go be rich. Why you don't fight to get a little piece of pie from your partner Dangote to stop people from dying in the hospital? Why you don't get some money from Dangote to help them children in Grenada that you say that you love to get a nice hot meal in school? Why you don't get some money from Dangote to fix all them bad roads we have in Grenada, Carriacou, and Pitimat? Why you don't get some money from Dangote to pay them workers right now that is struggling? Some of them, months senior, they don't get a salary. Get some money from Dangote, Deacon Mitchell. What's about the people of Grenada? What's about the people of Pitimatnik and Carriacou? Still struggling to put a roof over the head, but you're posing and showing off with a multi-billionaire. Deacon Mitchell, shame on you. And I will advise you, sir. Listen. Come out. Listen. Just move out. You cannot make it. Before you cause further damage to Grenada and Carriacou and Pitimatnik, please come out. And I want you, Mr. Deacon Mitchell, to do a thorough investigation in St. Andrews Northwest. We have a high level of corruption is taking place with those who are in the leadership role in St. Andrews Northwest. And I guess that information already get on your office. Study it well and don't cover it up as how you cover the Latu. Fire that individual. Too much of corruption taking place in St. Andrews Northwest. Arrest my case, senior.
Well, I mean, sometimes you're asking Deacon to investigate corruption. Lacret. It is widely rumored that Lacret was shocked when he saw the level of corruption in National Lottery. The workers in National Lottery was disturbed. And he appealed to the Prime Minister, and Lacret was fired. So this Prime Minister will not investigate corruption. He leads the corruption. Remember, the Prime Minister is attracted to money for good relationship. Is he that say that, you know? He is attracted to money for good relationship. It is widely rumored in the country that the Prime Minister accepted expensive gifts. And when a businessman gives you a gift, he gives you for something. If he is a prostitute, he gives you for something. But we also heard that General Lee, yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, go right ahead.
Yes, I have a question. Do you know if this Prime Minister is converted to Islam? The Prime Minister of Grenada?
Yeah. I have no idea. The Prime Minister is a kind of fake. You notice it changing to suit who he visit. And according to who he visit, just like them, he changing to suit who he lying around with.
I think he might be changing his religion if he don't change it yet.
Well, I don't believe the Prime Minister is so concerned about religion. Otherwise, he would not have dabbled in the occult to try to raise more as bishop from the dead. He might be an atheist.
Mr. The next thing about it is that while Nigeria have the richest man in Africa, if you look at the level of poverty in Nigeria, there are some areas of Nigeria.
The rich people will just take the money and give you. Otherwise, they will get poor.
That's what I'm saying. So whoever thinking this man is coming to Grenada and looking for whatever he could look
Opportunities.
and make us poorer than how we are. Because if you have Nigeria with so much slum and people living in real terrible conditions, why not invest some of the money in Nigeria so that your people could get employment?
People don't invest money, they invest money to make money. And the mere fact that the Prime Minister is being sold in Grenada as a rich man, lying with the Prime Minister, he opened the door to find out the Prime Minister is a prostitute. The Prime Minister should never sell him. He could have sold him as a successful businessman. But when you sell him as a rich man, and all we hear is a rich man you're rhyming around the world with, then you're looking as like when you pick up a woman and she's glad she got a sugar daddy. So the girl are wrong with the man because he's a sugar daddy. Yes, scholar, welcome. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Good afternoon. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Go right ahead. We lost you. Caller, we lost you. You lost him? You're back.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller.
We miss you. You know, my mind was working along the line relating to the whole issue of Mr. Gangati to an extent. But when you hear a whole lot of talk nowadays of selling countries, especially coming from the President of the United States, we think that Palestine or Gaza is a fine real estate itself. We find Canada should be brought into America. We find Iceland.
Greenland.
What's it? Eh?
Greenland.
Greenland should be for sale. I am wondering if we ask Mr. Dangote to help us pay our international debt, maybe to the tune of half of what we owe, would we be beholden to him so that Grenada becomes a country for sale? It would be nice to ask him, and if he could do it for us. Let's say thank you.
Dangote was not sold as a businessman. He was sold as a rich man.
But this is what the part of the issue I'm bringing up here is I am wondering what kind of an interest he has in Grenada for real. Why he is being hogged up by the Prime Minister that much?
We like the Prime Minister.
There was a company responsible for exploring oil in Grenada. I never heard much of a talk of the former Prime Minister, and who is heading that group was so much close, and they promoting them as critical individual for our understanding to be accommodating of them. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There is so much effort to accommodate Mr. Dangote. So like he become a Grenadian. I'm wondering why. But the thing is, if he could do something for us, thank you. But I am wondering, like I say, if there isn't something more in the matter
beside the person.
Beside the person.
Maybe the person in the matter.
Because why the big promotion to help to accommodate that man to the extent that on a national holiday, as it is referred to as Independence, he's guest speaker.
And he's not representing any government.
That looks fishy.
And you're representing government.
You're inviting a private individual to be the guest speaker in our independence celebration. That are official from the Nigerian government, I could understand if it was an official from the foreign minister from Nigeria or the deputy president or prime minister or whatever they have. I think it's president they have.
He's a rich man.
But the thing is, I'm saying not official from another government.
Maybe he partner.
Well, is he partner? But what I'm saying, what is really going on there? There's a big question mark hanging over that, Yes, you hear now about he's going to be part of the oil exploration first. But I'm wondering if part of that doesn't mean that we are for sale.
Well, the Prime Minister.
It would be a nice and interesting thing
conversation.
To monitor, Mr.
We have to continue monitoring and discussing.
Yeah, we have to continue monitoring. And another subject matter, I don't want to take too much of your time, is that whole issue of what is considered as a split within the NNP. I'll start off by saying, and I won't go further today, that the guys in general, there might be one or two who's turned their mind over a period of time because they get disenchanted or whatever. But the main core group that left the party right now have never been part of the party in the genuine sense. When there was in the NDC before, there was not even part of the NDC. And I could bring up facts to show people. Peter David in particular was never NNP, he was never NDC. There's a group called Oral that he heads, and that's the group that is infiltrating. Remember some time ago, Mr. Pierre, I brought up the subject matter of sleeper cells.
Yeah. I think the term come from you.
That's what I was alluding to.
Sleeper cells.
And there wasn't even a split in the process, And that was what I was alluding to. Because I'm aware of certain things that these guys and them are nothing but opportunists with an agenda that has nothing to do with the parties that they have been associated with for the longest while. NDC in recent times and NNP in recent times. They have their own coup. Take care, sir. We're going to discuss that more.
Yes, my brother. So these are concerns that we have. And we want to say to the supporters of NDC, when people raise concerns, you don't necessarily have to attack them personally. Some of us on radio open we closet door. And we know that in the eyes of the NDC, we are like cockroach in front fold. We are aware of that. So there is no reason with the personal attacks. It's better you provide explanation. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre. How are you?
Great, man.
Okay. Mr. Pierre, 50th anniversary. Over 200 persons was invited or given tickets to come to Grenada for independence. What happened this year? One person, Dangote.
They abandoned the diaspora. They abandoned them people in the diaspora. They're asking too much questions.
Well, no, they were, and they're the advisors.
Deacon abandoned the diaspora. They just use, I tell you, deacons are fake, They just use the diaspora.
Also, the next thing we're going to hear is that you are you want to run. You got to go in. Wow. No, because I don't hear that.
Is it win?
So you move all your 200 plus from last year. And you hold up one because you have money.
The Prime Minister behaving like a woman that find
a sugar daddy.
A sugar daddy. Right now, Dangote is the Prime Minister sugar daddy. Okay. You want to dress like them? You want to name your advisor, chief of staff?
Yes.
Chief Mogongo and Chief Logongo. Yeah, the Prime Minister is a joke.
Their jacket bandit.
It's an embarrassment to the Caribbean.
You know what that? All right.
Yes, all forefathers have shed the blood, the tears, the sacrifice. When you go back in history and you watch all our politicians, they have made significant contribution. And one could easily say they was genuine. And one cannot justifiably put corruption associated with them. All of them have done things to close corruption door. In 1973, Eric Gary enacted regulation and laws to prevent government ministers and their close family and the directors from getting loan from the GDB Bank. It's not that they didn't qualify, because they were poor people. But he said that's going to cause raised eyebrow. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hey, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, good to hear your voice, man.
Happy New Year.
Long time I hear you. Good, I miss you. I want to hear your voice.
I'm glad to hear you speaking this morning.
Yeah.
I say, well, RealFM, don't you forget to come back.
No, I had a whole month silence.
All right. Mr. Pierre, I find that people is real ungrateful. People that white man will come in this country here to even invest a cent. Everybody glad. Because he's a black man. Black man hate black man. They want to kill the black man. He's a black man like me and you. He's African, I'm African. Why are you so hypocrite? Are you jealous? Are you on board of me, brother? Mr. Pierre, are you there talk about corruption? The NMP was the most corrupt government ever passing through. And I could back it up with facts. Look, Mr. Miller, a man named Miller, coming greater here. He took $21 million and he goes it. And that kicked me up here. I say nothing. Already talking all the nonsense. Look, the bug and the NMP, they take $61 million. They rob $61 million of greater people. And I was talking, I just shut up, I was jealous of the damn man. You see the Prime Minister, he's the man for the job. Take that from me. He's the man for the job. Take that and leave it. Are you waste all your time doing that kind of stupidness? The Prime Minister is the man for the job. Mr. Pierre, you have a good year.
Yes, my brother. Thank you. Some of these things you're saying is not true. The debug issue, I pointed out to you, and I realize you lose money in debug, so it's a means of therapy, but it's not true. And there are instances when government take risk to attract companies, and you might have a business that fail, but it doesn't mean that the government benefited personally from it. And people must draw the difference. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, Mason.
It seems as though this young man forgetting history. Who sold our foreparents into slavery? Not the same black man?
Yes, the same black man.
And he not a black man?
Yeah, for 700 years.
Who he condemning Grenadians and not black people?
Yeah.
So what happened? He can't see the mud in his face? Huh? Why go and look into a mirror? Go and look into a mirror or bleach yourself. You don't come talking about the hate black man. The hate black man. So is that hate he hate black man? Not hate he hate black man? Black man here talking for progress, for the good, for the benefit of everyone. You understand? So what he can try condemning, he condemning himself. He condemning himself. He want to cast out devil by devil? Let us shut up him out and think again. Bye.
Yeah. Yes, sometimes it's a means used to try to make you feel guilty or try to. What we are saying, the Prime Minister has to be a political lunatic to present Dangote as the richest man in Africa. You could say he's a successful businessman and he's looking for opportunities. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Yes, my brother.
How are you doing today?
Great, man.
All right, as usual, congratulations. I'll tell you something, eh? Yes, I listened to the argument. I listened to Dr. Patrick Antwine and Mr. Blash on another program. And in keeping with my theme, it is the economy, the infrastructure, putting people to work, growing the economy, and doing things in a way where we're doing it faster. In other words, we way behind. But here my concern, sir, is this with the CSME and what is happening in the region. We know Grenada is one of the better countries as it relates to security in the region. And when you listen to what is happening in the other parts of the region, and let me say, namely Trinidad, Jamaica, Barbados, and the rest of the Caribbean countries, I cannot understand why we are so hooked up on CSME. I have been saying that, raising some of the critical points long before these things started happening. Now it's on our doorstep, yet our leaders continue to push this CSME. I want to beg our leaders, what they cannot see, I can see it. Just move ourselves from the CSME. Somebody called me a madman the other day when I raised this issue, but let me tell you something, sir. My brain sees very, very far, because all of the things that I said over the years, from LIAT right back to CSME to CCJ, come to fruition. Yeah? And I'm saying, before we get into a situation where we all cry and grieve, get us out of the CSME. It's going to bring too much danger for all of us. Why do we want to link up with these countries? What we have in Jamaica, what we have in Trinidad and Tobago. Some people are going to get upset with me. Yes, we know we need trade. But what else? What do we have for these people to come here? Everybody wants to come here. What do they come for? What do they want to come for? Yeah? They are going to transfer the same situation that is happening in their country here because it's right on our doorstep. I want to beg again for the safety and security of us in Grenada. Please, to the government, get us out of the CSME and let us stick to trade. We already have CARICOM, which is a common market that is not working. What do we want CSME for? Isn't it the same thing for the same purpose? Yeah? Let us get our economy going. Use the collective abilities and wisdom of our people. Get them up economically. Do things in a way, step by step, with our revenue. If you can do 2 miles of road, get your equipment, all your equipment, use the technicians that you have here, 1 mile at a time, do 2 miles at a time, do 3 miles at a time, with the little money, do some conservation, right? And let us do it that way instead of looking for monies where we will criminalize this country. Because let me tell you something, the citizenship by investment, it might be seen as a good program, but I'm very critical from the beginning because I know what's going to happen. I've been talking about this long. It will bring danger for us. We cannot make the CSME or investment migration one of the lead revenue earning agencies of our economy. It's going to bring in danger. I am seeing it, and I'm warning us and asking our leaders to open up this brain that they have there and see with their minds and not their eyes what is not far on the horizon for us in Grenada. Have a good day, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, and probably it's good time to take a few comments from social media. One, Sheldon Sylvester, the rich man is not responsible for the citizens of Nigeria. That job belongs to the government. And the same here, the government is responsible for the citizens, not the rich man. And that's a fair comment. People get involved in business to make money. Some of them, based upon their philosophy, may make charity, but they are not responsible for the poor in the country. A certain person who is in particular group of 30 told me on Sunday, them boy get bright. Them boys acting arrogant. I asked the individual if he thinks that's a change in the personality. Well, obviously, the NDC, that is one of in the DNA of the National Democratic Congress. They believe that yes, scholar. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
You radio in the background? Slow it down.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, man.
Your last caller is so reactionary in his thinking. He's not a progressive thinker at all. Mr. Pierre, in this day and age where we're talking regional integration, he's talking of get rid of the CSME. This man must be a madman. He must be a madman to be saying nonsense like that. And you, as the host of the program, ought to discourage this kind of negative, reactionary comments.
We're very tolerant to dissenting views. We didn't have the time, otherwise we might have asked for justification and put up counter proposal. But it's always good to get people to express their views, even if you don't agree with it. We have to have this discussion. The program is short, so we may provoke discussion. But I would like to, under other circumstances, entertain what is his justification and point out the benefits. I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied that CARICOM is doing enough to educate our people about CARICOM. We have made an attempt to engage CARICOM desks, to work with them, to help to engage, educate more people about CARICOM. They're not doing enough. Over the years, I've tried my best to engage Foreign Affairs in Grenada, to educate our people. I believe in CARICOM. And as a result of that, but CARICOM cannot go faster than the people. And CARICOM have a responsibility, a duty to educate the people. And you cannot silence people if they're against CARICOM. Look at what happened with Brexit in England. Some of the people that was benefit, the elderly people, the conservatives, they vote against it. The younger ones that was benefiting more from Brexit never go and vote. Look at what happened in Grenada. Deacon Mitchell presented pie in the sky. There is no need for a parallel public service. All public officers, including the trade union, know he was telling lies. As soon as, with the stroke of a pen, Deacon just lied. But the lies sound so dramatic and unrealistic, people believe it. And they vote him in power. Look at the hostility, the level of intolerance of Deacon against the very people that he presented pie in the sky to from the lower echelons of society. So we have to be tolerant, but we have to prepare to discuss issues. And time runs fast. So we come to the end of the program. And we're back with you again tomorrow between 12 and 1. And you have the opportunity to punch. Thank you very much.